Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Srish and today I'm sharing with you the easiest tip on how to get your poses looking more dynamic and more flowy as opposed to just stiff and straight and really robotic and really non-human. So it's a very simple tip and it's going to be mostly just voiceover, except you will see me do some entry-level modeling just to explain the actual concept of it. So yeah, so hopefully you will learn something new with this video and hopefully it will help your drawings look a lot more lifelike. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then please remember to leave me a thumbs up so I know you'd like to see more of these quick little tip videos. And before we get into it, I have to make one huge announcement. So all through November, they started on November 15th and it's running through the 30th. I have portrait commissions open for the holidays, so you can have your loved one or yourself or a friend or a family member or even a child drawn in this style. And you can have A5 prints, 2 prints. I will be sending 2 prints of your portrait in the mail to you, as well as the digital painting if you want to have it printed in a different style. And all portraits go out on December the 1st, so it is well in time for packing and wrapping for Christmas, or if you need to get it printed or framed or whatever. So there is that. They are unique, they are one of a kind. No one else will be giving this person the same Christmas present that you are, so you don't have to worry about that. I know I used to worry about that constantly. So that's out of the way. So if you are interested in grabbing a portrait, they are only $35, which is more than 40% off. Very limited time offer. I only have 20 slots open. So make sure you grab yours by clicking the link in the episode description. The first link should be a link to this offer. So make sure you check that out. And yeah, without much further ado, let's jump in. So here I'm gonna demonstrate using my own body what I mean. So first I'm just gonna go back into the background and just stand straight. No pose, nothing, just standing straight, and you can see that my shoulders and hips are parallel to each other, which means my spine is pretty straight. And it looks very static and very stiff in terms of who I am. Like when you look at this still, you probably think that I'm just a mannequin, like lifeless body thing. Whereas when I shift into a pose where my shoulders and hips are going in the opposite direction and my arms are forming vivid angles, like they are far apart from my spine. My spine is bent, and that would be your bendy eye method. So if this isn't quite clear yet, let's just look at it in the overhead and hopefully that will explain it more. Okay, so we're just gonna start by drawing a simple figure standing. So the first one, I'm just gonna start with a very light pencil and draw out someone with shoulders and hips that are parallel. And you'll see when I render this out in like a HB pencil with muscles and everything, that this figure just looks stiff and unnatural and just very non-dynamic and fun. Just like it's an isolated mannequin which is not interacting with the world around it at all. So here you can see me just rendering it out and it's just lifeless, dead like a zombie. We don't like zombies in this house. Actually we do, but that's not my point. So on the right, I'm actually gonna try and explain the difference. So with the same exact pose, we're just going to make the shoulders tip one way and the hips tip the other way. And what this is going to do is make sure that the torso and abdomen isn't going in the same direction, and in this way there's like a shift in weight. There's a displacement of where this person puts their weight, which makes it look a lot more dynamic. And because of this, the spine is curved, and this is what I mean by the bendy eye. So as you can see, this pose is a lot more dynamic. The arm is at an angle from the body, and it just creates much more alive shapes. And this person does look like they are actually interacting with the world around them. And that's kind of what we want from our human figures. So again, when you see me render this out, and because the hips are at a different angle, it is obvious that the legs will also be spread a little further apart. And the more separation you can bring between the limbs and the torso, the more alive your figure will look. So that's another thing to keep in mind, just as an aside. So again, the stationary is just a straight up eye, which we don't want. But the more dynamic figure is a bendy eye, with the straight line in the eye, or the middle of the eye, being the spine. And that is what we do want. Now, if you're not convinced yet, let me show you that this actually works even with seated figures. So we're going to start by drawing out someone sitting cross-legged, and their body is just a straight eye, not dynamic at all. And at the other end of the spectrum, we're going to show someone seated on their haunches in a different pose with a bendy eye. And you'll see when I take the first figure and change their line of motion, or their line of pose, I don't know what to call it, into a bendy eye, and keep the rest of the pose pretty much the same, except maybe I'll add some angles to the arms just to exaggerate the effect a little bit. You can see it seems like they are in conversation or talking to someone, and not just like sitting down and absorbing the world around them. So with the bendy eye, like I've said 1,000 times already, they're a lot more dynamic. And for the sake of completion, we're going to take the first figure on the haunches and make it a lot more static with just a regular eye. And you can see the difference almost immediately, even though the arm is at the same angle, even though everything else is the same. It's just the little line of motion through the spine that makes such a big difference. And finally, just to put the cherry on top, I'm going to show you a side view of a character standing, maybe on a bus, holding like the handlebar up top. So we're going to start with a static figure just from the side with their arm extended upwards, not doing much, just standing and looking bored as if they have no actual bones in their body and they're just a blob of mass. On the other hand, we have our dynamic person on the bus who is basically shifted their weight so that they can actually balance as the bus moves. So their hips are pushed back just a little bit, legs are spread apart just a little for balance. And you can see they have a bag because they have a job, because jobs only employ real people and not static mannequin people. So hopefully this video has convinced you that the bendy eye really works. And there you go, guys. That is my #1 tip on how to get your portraits looking from stiff to dynamic and realistic. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've learned something new. And if you have any portrait tips that you would like me to talk about, or if you have any issues with how you draw people or how you draw anything really that you'd like me to talk about, then please make sure to leave me a comment below and I'll see what I can do about it. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see your request fulfilled. And if you enjoyed this video, leave me a thumbs up, because that's how I know if you'd like to see more of these. And if you're looking for the perfect Christmas gift to give someone you love, why not give them a portrait? Check out the first link in the episode description. I have all details about it down there, and I promise you it will get to you well in time for Christmas. So make sure you check that out. And I think that's pretty much all I have to say today. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. You know I love spending time with you, and I will see you again next week. Bye.